Hello everybody, welcome back to the high voltage server. This is the captain speaking, and today I'm singing in the rain. No, not really. But it is raining. Go figure. Rains all the time on the server, I have no idea why. But seriously, today I'm going to actually just do a quick little tutorial video for my slime elevators that I've employed in my build. So since the last time I showed off my base, I've actually refit the top slime elevator to work the way that the one to my basement does. That does seem to be the best way to operate a slime elevator, I find. And I'll go ahead and just show you guys what I've done up there. And then I'll run through a quick tutorial on how to actually just build one of these from more or less scratch. So if you recall, the one up here used to push you up and then a second slime piston pushed you forward. That was getting really bad lately with some lag and latency, and it was frustrating to try to get upstairs, so I went ahead and I replaced it with the same system that my other ones use. And if you saw my video where I had trouble with this, you'll see that this is a much simpler system. And it's so smooth. The way the top piston catches you is just perfect. And with all of my systems, there's a button return that activates only the top piston to keep you from slime launching back up. So I'm going to show you how to do the return mechanism and everything, just all in one. So that's why I was out here. I've gone ahead and cleared a small spot near my base that's safe and large enough to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and start clearing away some landscape. And for this, you're going to want to have at least 2 sticky pistons and something like a furnace or a dispenser or droppers or obsidian, anything that isn't affected by slime blocks. And I'm going to quickly run just a simple little redstone wire to power this. Repeaters are definitely needed for this build also. And then I'll just slap down a button quickly. That's a simplified version of the circuit you need to activate the bottom piston. Unfortunately, the bottom piston needs to be set on a delay, so it won't be quite so compact like that when it's done. But to show you what I mean quickly, if you notice the pistons stay put, if you use a regular block like cobble or something, every time you hit the button, the block will move with the slime, and that's less than ideal. So in my builds I usually use obsidian, but a furnace is a lot cheaper and more effective in terms of what to use. So that's good. Another thing is, I almost messed up right here. Whichever wall is your back wall, you're going to want to put a second one there. But if you want to make it look maybe a little better, you can put it facing away. Because otherwise, if you don't, if you just place a regular block here, the piston will come up, but the slime block will actually stay up. It's stuck to this block here. So it's just easier to put down the right block first. Okay. Now the one downside with this kind of a slime elevator is that in order to hide the pistons, you have to basically build it on a wall. It's not so good for out in the open. 1, 2, 3. I think that's 5, or is that 6? No, that should be fine. Alright, so I'm going to get back up here, and I'm going to get things ready for my next piston. And I like to use the chiseled stone bricks for my catching pad. You can use whatever you like. If you want to make it blend into the floor, just make it the same thing as your floor. It doesn't really matter what type of block you use here, as long as it can be moved by a piston. And that's closed. So that's the basic setup so far. We've got the pistons in place. The next thing you're going to want to do is to run the redstone wiring. Oh, that block is up there somewhere, isn't it? There we go. And so to run the redstone wiring, what I like to do, you'll see why later, is I like to put a repeater here. Again, you'll see why later. It's actually fairly important. It's not just a personal choice. Okay, so that's wired in now. I need to make this bottom one a little more complex, because I need to set the bottom piston on a delay. So, how can I do that? I can take it this way. So I don't have like a set hard and fast rule for how to do this just yet. I pretty much just improvise each one slightly depending on the needs of my build. I can put one port going in too. And the delay seems to change depending on my connection speed and the latency, so there's not a hard fast rule for how to connect one either. I might have built that too high. No, the delay's not enough yet. Okay. Let's set both to 3. I might have to put one more in yet. Okay, no, it's firing automatic. I know why that's firing. Yep. Okay. Like this. There we go. Now there's a delay. You see, when you put the block here, it actually gets powered by the redstone, and your piston fires immediately when you hit the button. And that's not what you want to have happen. I usually make that mistake pretty much every time, I think. So now the slime block is on a delay, which is what you want. Oops. I might have messed this up already, guys. Yep. Okay, so this is too high. I thought it might be, so I'm not terribly upset at having to take it down. It's hardly a difficult thing to do. You just move everything down a block. That is the other downside with this elevator setup, is it's only capable of moving you so many blocks up. But that's okay. I can take these down. This has to go here. Put my redstone torch to keep my circuit open. And my repeater. I don't need nearly so many cobblestone bits here either, which is nice. Means I can make this circuit a little more simple. Like that. Cuts down on a little bit of redstone wiring. Now the tricky part with this too is that you can see if I built the wall flush, I'm going to have to build a corner here, kind of a thing, right? Like, in order to hide it all, but whoops. Okay, another thing I'm going to do now, ready to keep myself from messing up too much, is limit my flight path. Am I getting latency? Just a little bit. My connection's actually pretty good. And it caught me. So this will be your second floor then that you'd want to get launched up to. Now, the return mechanism. Oh, Joe Fats is here. Hopefully he doesn't say anything too something controversial. or, just... no, I want this down. Sorry, I'm a little distracted by frats joining. So the return mechanism then. I'm going to want one more block, and I'm going to want it right here. So for the return mechanism, you're going to want to run some simple redstone wiring down this way, and then another repeater feeding into the redstone thing. And of course, then you're going to want a button. So place the button. And you can see that only activates this top circuit. And the reason for that is actually this repeater. See, if I power the redstone block all the way, whoop, and I hit this button, wait, oh no, because this one too. There we go. I was going to say. So yes, those redstone repeaters keep the signal going just the one way. I think. Or not. I don't know anything about what I'm talking about. Well, in one of my other setups, with other repeaters, it messed up. So maybe the one I have right now is just better, but I still recommend just using the repeaters because depending on how your setup varies slightly, that can actually make a difference. So yeah, just before you call it a day, you test it out again. It's a decent catch. And it doesn't hurt me on my way down. That's a pretty good setup. You could always add another repeater right here if you wanted to. If you think the delay is just missing a little something, or your lag or latency is really bad, if you're on a multiplayer server, just add another one in there. It doesn't hurt to have a little more adjustable timing, for the most part. Yeah, you see the catch is just slight. There's a bit of a blink where it's not sure if it caught me or not. So I'm going to test out just one more tick on the redstone repeater and see what that does. And that's smooth. Yep, that's what it needed. Just that one more little tick to make it smooth. So yeah, and that's how you do it. Doesn't take much to do. Oh, see, now that one hurt me. So that might happen from time to time, but it seems to happen more with multiplayer latency issues. But that's a pretty short video on how to do this kind of thing. Again, the disadvantages are it's limiting you to only being able to launch like the 5 blocks with the single mechanism, and in order to hide it, you've got to build it into a wall. But if your base is something like mine, it's actually pretty quick and easy. It doesn't require a lot of crazy redstone or a lot of resources. Again, you can just build it with furnaces and pistons. I think the trickiest thing might be the slime block and the sticky pistons if you don't have access to slime chunk. But other than that, yeah, that's how it's done. So if you want to use it for your build and your base and whatever Minecraft world you play, feel free. You can make it look a lot nicer than this. The cobblestone doesn't do it justice. But you can tweak it however you need it and fancy it up however you like. One other thing I'll add just quickly, because it's just now bothering me, is the lack of a back wall. So again, to hide everything, you're going to need a wall here as well. Whoops, I made it. Nice. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I decided to do something different. Most of my videos so far have been random buildings or tourings or cavings and that kind of thing. So I thought maybe a tutorial video was fitting for today. So let me know what you think. Hopefully you learned something useful. If you have any requests or suggestions, let me know in the comments below. I'll try to get to them eventually. At this point, I'm still working on coming up with a prank idea, but that's hopefully next week that can come out. And yeah, Otherwise, just take care, have yourselves a great day, and goodbye.